So you have to check out this True Social that Trump just put out, and he did it to punish protesters. It is ridiculous, and it's going to hurt a lot of people. We need to say no. Keep protesting, keep telling them what he's talking about is lies. And let me tell you why I feel the way I do about immigration. I grew up with a father that was very Republican, and he hated immigrants, but he used them for labor. They were our maids, they were our gardeners, and he didn't ever see the hypocrisy in that. And I grew up thinking the same way he did, because that's what was ingrained into my brain, that they're the reason everything is bad. And as I got older and I started working for an organization that helped them with day labor, and I saw they had ITIN numbers, which is like a social security number for undocumented people, so they can pay taxes. And I helped them do their taxes. So as I did that, I met so many. And I realized they let you get married legally with someone undocumented, buy a home, have credit card debt. I mean, everything that you would with a normal citizen, but no protections. And then if some tyrant comes in like Trump and wants to rip that person out of your lives and destroy the life of a citizen and their family, it cannot happen. This is just ridiculous. I mean, the plan that my dad came up with was to get a bunch of people from these countries that they're coming from the most and ask them, what can we do to help you not want to have to come here? And I was like, oh my gosh, exactly. And so they said, you cannot give the money to the politicians. They are corrupt and they don't share the wealth with the people. So it just goes right in their pocket. You need to get together people that are like a group of regular citizens from those countries and have them brainstorm where it needs to go to help people, like education, help with food, whatever it may be. That would be great. And people that have been here 10 plus years, paying taxes, no criminal record, give them a path to citizenship or, permanent residence, something. And even if you do it the right way when you're married, it is very expensive. And at the very end, when you think all is good, they force that person to go back to their country of origin just to go through the consulate for an interview that they have already done in the United States with no guarantee you can come back over. So why would you trust that when many people have been stuck there for just little minor errors? It's almost like a trap. And Republicans did this to punish them. I'm sorry, this has gone way too far. I know a lot of people have their views about immigration, but let me tell you, you don't know the facts. And if you did, it would really piss you off. At least I hope. It did me. It made my father a long-term Republican conservative who worked for the federal government his whole life and the FBI. It made him change his mind. And before he passed, thankfully he missed January 6th, or he would have been devastated. And my dad told me a story that happened to him. He was an auditor for the Federal Home Loan Bank Board. And one day, President Bush Sr. asked him to lie and not testify against the corruption internally, that it wasn't good for the American people to know the truth. And he said, no, I'm not doing that. And his coworker said, why did you say that? That's the president. You said no to him. And he said, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to do my job and work for the American people, and that means telling the truth. And so when he became a Trump supporter, I was shocked. But it started to fade once he realized how bad COVID was and how much he lied. Because here I was at the hospital telling him all the horribleness I was seeing, and Trump going live and telling the nation the complete opposite. It was just too much for him. And he started to distance from Trump. And he was losing money. Renters weren't paying. And Trump just kept lying. And so thankfully, he did not see January 6th. He passed before that, because that would have killed him. But he had the right idea. People have been here 10 years or longer, no criminal record, paying taxes, give them a path. and get together undocumented immigrants from every country that comes over the most and figure out a way to make their country better instead of giving it to their politicians because they're corrupt. And then we could see real change. But the sad part is the Republicans and Democrats, they don't want that. Because if they do, they lose their money. Sanctuary cities, they are that way because of money, because of how much they pay in taxes. Let me tell you, $8 billion in California, Texas, $4 billion, Florida is another high one. I believe theirs is close to $4 billion also. You can easily fact check this. So please join me in calling on our Congress to stop this horrible mass deportation, because all it'll do is hurt us and families just trying to survive. What we really need is immigration reform. So please, and this goes to Trump, who is going after only brown immigrants. I don't see white immigrants, him saying this, or going after him or parading him in front of the cameras. He hates Hispanics, and I don't know why, but he uses their labor. So please help me spread the message, share, like, comment. We have to make this stop. Thank you for watching. This is Laura with the Undocumented Truth.